Hello fellow gardeners, and welcome back to Smart Garden. Today we're diving deep into one of the most transformative secrets in gardening, a secret that can take your plot from simply productive to absolutely extraordinary. Imagine your garden bursting with life, vibrant and abundant, like never before. What if I told you the key to achieving this isn't more compost, but when you apply it? Your plants are sending you subtle signals about their nutrient needs, and once you learn to read them, your harvest will truly astound you. Get ready to transform your garden from good to absolutely phenomenal. The science behind nutrient uptake is far more nuanced than simply spreading compost whenever the mood strikes. Plants don't absorb nutrients at a constant rate throughout the year. Instead, they experience distinct phases, periods of dormancy, awakening, explosive growth, and eventual rest, and each phase demands a different nutritional approach. Understanding this biological rhythm is the foundation of strategic compost application. Your plants are essentially on a schedule, and when you align your amendment applications with their natural cycles, you create conditions for optimal nutrient absorption. Soil temperature and moisture levels play starring roles in this botanical drama. When soil temperatures dip below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, microbial activity slows dramatically, which means the decomposition processes that make nutrients available to plant roots virtually halt. Conversely, when spring warmth returns and moisture levels are adequate, soil organisms spring into action, breaking down organic matter and releasing a feast of nutrients precisely when emerging plants need them most. Different plant types follow varied schedules too. Cool season crops like lettuce and peas wake early, while warm season lovers like tomatoes and peppers wait for genuine warmth. Reading these patterns allows you to time your compost applications for maximum impact. Early spring represents one of the most critical windows for compost application, and honestly, recognizing the exact moment to act can mean the difference between a mediocre season and a spectacular one. As dormant plants begin their awakening, you'll notice subtle but unmistakable indicators. The perennial beds. They start showing the first brave shoots pushing through the soil surface. It's quite a sight, really. And then, those deciduous shrubs, they display swelling buds that hint at the explosion of green to come. Fruit trees, too, begin their transformation from stark winter silhouettes to living, breathing organisms ready to leaf out. These are your garden's green signals, telling you that roots are stirring underground and preparing to draw nutrients upward. It's like nature's way of saying, "Get ready, we're waking up." Now, when it comes to the ideal approach for spring application, it involves working compost into the soil several weeks before planting. This allows time for integration and initial decomposition. For established perennial beds, a top dressing of 1 to 2 inches of fully matured compost provides the perfect nutrient boost without overwhelming those delicate emerging shoots. It's all about balance, you know? The key is ensuring the compost layer isn't so thick that it smothers new growth or prevents adequate air circulation around the crown of plants. Think of it as tucking your plants in with a nutritious blanket rather than burying them under a heavy quilt. For vegetable gardens, incorporating 2 to 3 inches of compost into the top 6 to 8 inches of soil creates a nutrient-rich foundation that will sustain crops through their entire growing season. Midsummer presents unique nutritional challenges that many gardeners overlook. By this point in the season, your plants have been drawing nutrients from the soil for months. Heavy producers like tomatoes, squash, and peppers are particularly demanding, channeling enormous energy into fruit production. This is when you need to become a detective, looking for the telltale signs of nutrient depletion. Yellowing lower leaves, particularly on tomato plants, often signal nitrogen deficiency. Stunted fruit development or blossom end rot can indicate calcium issues. Pale, lackluster foliage across the garden suggests your plants are running on empty. Strategic summer applications require a gentler touch than spring preparations. Top dressing established plants with a light layer of compost, roughly half an inch to 1 inch thick, provides a sustained nutrient release without disturbing root systems that have spread throughout your beds. Apply the compost in a ring around each plant, keeping it a few inches away from stems to prevent moisture-related diseases. For vegetables in containers which deplete their growing medium even faster than garden beds, a monthly compost tea application or light top dressing becomes essential. So, the goal during summer isn't about massive nutrient dumps, but rather, sustained and consistent feeding that supports ongoing production without promoting excessive vegetative growth at the expense of fruit development. Fall compost application is arguably the most valuable timing strategy in a gardener's arsenal yet. Honestly, it remains underutilized by many. After your final harvest, when plants are winding down and you're cleaning up spent vegetation, this is your golden opportunity to set the stage for next year's success. Applying a generous layer of compost across your beds in autumn really allows nature to do the heavy lifting. Winter's freeze-thaw cycles, precipitation, and the continued activity of soil organisms gradually incorporate that organic matter deep into the soil structure, creating a nutrient-rich environment that will greet your spring plantings. Focus particularly on perennial beds and areas where you plan future plantings. A 2 to 3 inch layer of compost spread over these areas, then covered with a protective mulch of leaves or straw, protects soil structure throughout winter while steadily enriching it. The beauty of fall application lies in its efficiency. You're working when the garden demands less immediate attention, the compost has months to integrate and decompose fully, and nutrients will be plant available exactly when spring growth begins. This is also the ideal time for pH adjustments using limestone or sulfur, as these amendments need several months to react with soil chemistry before plants can benefit. Even during winter's dormancy, strategic thinking about your soil pays dividends. In milder climates where the ground doesn't freeze solid, a winter compost blanket protects soil organisms and structure while continuing the slow process of decomposition. This protective layer prevents erosion from winter rains, maintains more stable soil temperatures, and ensures that beneficial microbes remain active, even if at reduced levels. In colder regions, applying compost just before the deep freeze creates a nutrient reserve that becomes immediately available during the spring thaw, giving early crops and perennials a head start. Winter is also your planning season. Take some time to evaluate what worked in the previous year, conduct soil tests to understand specific deficiencies, and, map out your compost strategy for the coming growing season. Remember that the most successful gardens aren't created through random acts of amendment, but through thoughtful, timed applications that work in harmony with natural cycles. Now it's your turn to put this knowledge into action and watch your garden transform. If you found this guide valuable, please subscribe to Smart Garden and share it with your fellow gardening enthusiasts. Together, we're cultivating not just better gardens, but a deeper understanding of the soil beneath our feet. Happy gardening!